Live. Okay, so YouTube started, Instagram and Facebook are loading. So there's Tina and I here from Unjex here in Australia. So we're hand filming, excuse any shaky footage. So basically the reason we're going live today is we have a positive Demodex mite test. So a gentleman came into our office for a meeting and we tested him and we found a mite straight away. So this is what it looks like. So guys, please, anytime you have any questions, please leave it in the comments or the chat box or wherever you're watching. If you're too shy to ask it directly, private message us. But the reason why we're here is to answer questions about Demodex, because they're not nearly talked about as much, which you hear, I think, me say in every video I do, although it's been a while. So this here is a Demodex mite. We'll try and get a good look, but she's actually on her side. So it's a female Demodex folliculorum. You can see it's a female because her body is quite dark. So it's full of eggs and feces and oil buildup. Not the nicest view.
Yeah.
And you can see
It's still moving.
Yeah, so yeah,
And
exactly.
It's been hours away since the patient done the test.
Yeah, how many hours? Like 3?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 hours, and she's still wiggling around. So I'll try and get a good focus of the legs. So if you look really carefully, you can actually see them moving. And then you can also see her mouth parts at the bottom there moving. I'm looking through a lens, so I hope that's coming off on the other two. Awesome. So one of the most common symptoms of Demodex mites is like itching or activity or irritation on the skin. And this sort of usually, as a general rule, increases at night time. So guys, if you get an itchy scalp or an itchy face or body at night, it's a really good chance you have an overpopulation of mites using these sharp little legs to creep and crawl around and do their business. So that usually clicks for a lot of people who are suffering from skin problems. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the microscope back a magnification. So I'm doing this one-handed, so please bear with me. And I should look at the actual screen and not through the phone. There we go.
Yep.
So that's what size. So a lot of people are curious and ask us what magnification is needed to see a mite under the microscope. So honestly, it's not a really like high magnification, although they are microscopic and you cannot see them with the naked eye, not Demodex at least. So I'm going to turn the microscope around so we can see what lens it is. So it's this red one here. Can you see that, Tina?
Yeah.
Awesome. So you can see it's only like it's 100 times magnification basically.
Yeah.
Say 160 there. I'm pretty sure it's just 100. Yeah, that's right, 100. So yeah, it's not a massive magnification like most standard microscopes will sort of pick it up. It's actually the way in which you take a sample really is the biggest variable, because mites do spend most of their life under the skin, under the follicles and in the oil glands. They're pretty hard to pick up, so it's got to be ideal conditions. For example, if you came to our expo, like, was it last week or the week before?
Yeah, the week before.
Yeah, time's flying. We tested a lot of people but didn't find that many mites, but it's mostly because people had like washed either that morning or that day. So if you have clean skin or dry skin or maybe a lot of dandruff, even though, well, the last two can all be symptoms of an overpopulation, basically we rely on them being on the surface of the skin when we pick them up. So that's what this sample we're testing looks like on the slide, although it's really hard to see. It's basically oil buildup from the skin, which is how we find the mites. And a lot of people who have had tests in the past by maybe doctors or dermatologists that do entertain the idea of Demodex, which is awesome, but usually they take a biopsy or a skin scraping under the wrong conditions. So you really need quite, I'll say in air quotes because you can't, see me by dirty skin or oily skin, having not washed for at least 48 hours, but honestly the longer the better, the higher the accuracy. So what I'm going to do, this mite's doing its job, but she's getting a bit boring, so I'm gonna, there's another one.
There's another one.
So this guy that actually came in, he was just in for a meeting about something else. He actually had quite good skin, didn't he?
Yeah, he looks quite healthy, so we didn't expect to find anything, but then yes, we found that.
Yeah.
So we were like surprised.
Yeah, so that's what we thought we'd share. So, you know, even you don't have to have crazy symptoms to have, well, a higher density of mites.
Mm-hmm.
But in a lot of people, their skin's reacting to an overpopulation, and that's why you have issues, basically.
Yeah.
So anybody watching, say hello in the comments. Make us feel like we're not talking to ourselves. You can see someone's watching on YouTube, but they're being quiet.
Yeah.
So the reason we are filming this is just like a lot of people find us at like 2 o'clock in the morning after a Google search, and the internet's a very scary place, especially for skin parasites. So we sort of like to try and share as much information as we can, because that's what unjects are here for. We not only give, like, obviously the treatment for mites, which is what we do, we really barrack and spend a lot of time educating, because there is so much misinformation.
Yeah, and people have understanding with these kind of parasites. They think that if they don't have symptoms, might be, you know, the problem is not like big enough. But to be honest, we're not supposed to have any parasites inside of us.
Yeah, that's why they're called parasites.
Yeah, so even though they're not causing you any problem, like at the appearance, but they still need to be eliminated.
Exactly. So it's always, oh look, there's a brevis.
Oh, that's a small one. Oh, it's a different species?
Yeah, good job.
Ah.
So I'm going to zoom up on it.
Yeah, because it's shorter than the others.
Yeah, so it's small and stumpy, and on film I don't even think you can tell it's a mite, but I'm going to zoom up on it. Just bear with me, because again I am one-handed, but good practice for me. So here we go. It's still moving. So let's put it in the middle of the screen. There's 2 different species of Demodex mites. So the ones we saw earlier, I'm just going to clean the camera of this phone. I think it's a bit blurry. Sorry, YouTube. I'm just giving you a scroll. It's very, very professional of me. The one we saw earlier was a folliculorum, so it was like quite long. This lady, again it's a lady because she has a dark body, is a Demodex brevis. So it's the second species us humans have. So instead of living in the actual hair follicles, that live down in the oil glands, so they're shorter and stumpier. Essentially they do the same thing, but yeah, it has, I'm trying to get it in focus, you can see the legs are quite active, but you can tell it's an adult even though it's small because it has 8 legs.
Yeah.
So like the babies, the nymphs, they only have 6, exactly, and they're a little bit less formed. They sort of just look more like a weird outline. So it's actually a really good sample if you are wanting to know what to look for under the microscope, if you're testing yourself, or maybe you're seeking a medical professional, or maybe you are a medical professional. It's really helpful to know what to look for.
Is it trying to get food or what?
Yeah, potentially. Like you can see those little mouth parts moving.
Yeah.
So they're pretty tenacious little things, which is, I think, why a lot of people do struggle to get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's a pretty common misconception. People think they can like wash them off, which is why maybe we spend so much time talking to people on how to use treat them correctly. But because mites live under the skin, washing them off, good hygiene, it honestly doesn't help. In fact, if you overwash your skin, that can actually make it a better place for them to live or push them deeper. So this mite's actually fantastic because she's doing sort of somersaults for us. So we can see she's on her back and we're seeing her underbelly. You can see those little legs moving. So again, if anyone's watching, we're talking about a positive Demodex mite test result here in our office in Melbourne, Australia. So we actually do this test in the office. If you are in Melbourne, we also have some facilities in Sydney, but please contact us because, the microscopic test isn't necessary. We have an online test, which I'll talk about in a second, that is sometimes even more accurate than the microscope test, but if you are around, it's sometimes, nice to come face to face with what's going on.
That's even great.
Yeah, right?
That's great, yeah. You're more than welcome to join.
Yeah, just give us a call. It's by appointment.
Yeah. We have an audience question.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Durrani, am I pronouncing that right? Please let me know. Okay. I'm having what seems like a mite problem. Can Demodex mites also make pimple, bite marks all over the body, like stomach, chest, back, head, face, and neck? I also have twitching all over and now in every limb of my face with a crawling feeling and sharp stinging bites appear. So, pimples definitely can be Demodex mite related, because basically when they die under the skin, they liquefy. Oh, sorry, I'm using hand gestures in front of the camera. Doesn't work. They liquefy, and basically pimples can be the way your skin is trying to contain that bacteria. Itching, definitely.
Yeah.
It can be whole body. Everybody's different. It's basically, most people tend to associate it with, cancel that call. Live video pause. Sorry guys, technical difficulty. And our neighbours are being loud. Anyway, any skin deep things you mentioned there, definitely, but with the twitching, it's usually not Demodex related because they're literally only skin deep. They only go as deep as the follicles and the oil glands. But the crawling feeling, that's something, like I said, it's pretty common with Demodex.
Yeah, because they're moving around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is the crawling feeling getting worse at night time or is it all the time? Durrani, please tell me if I'm saying your name right. I hope I'm not butchering it. So yeah, just leave a comment. Does it get worse at night or is it all the time? Because sometimes after this, if you haven't done the online test, it asks, I think it's 22 or 23 questions, and it can give you a pretty good indication. But I'd say 80% of the symptoms worse at night, also all the time lately. Okay, so 80 to 85% of those symptoms definitely I can attribute to a Demodex overpopulation. It's more the twitching and stinging as well. Obviously with our customers we rely on their descriptions, so I've heard stinging before, but it's not typically something we would expect. When it's all the time, it also depends on location and life situation. So the reason why generally it is more prone to nighttime is because Demodex mites don't like the light from the sun or the UV light. So when the sun's out during the day, most of the mites are tucked up under the skin and out of reach. But, oh, ignore that.
Yeah, okay.
It's Siri, I think.
Just,
Oh, cool. Thanks for the comments on Instagram, guys.
yeah.
So the sunshine basically pushes them onto the skin so you can't feel them. However, if you're not in... Maybe just... Sorry, guys. We're just fixing Instagram.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's freaking out. I don't know why. No, none of them.
Cancel.
If it keeps doing, maybe just cancel it. Sorry, Facebook and YouTube. We're having an Instagram trouble. But yeah, so mites don't like sunshine. They stay under the skin. So that's why the itching generally isn't as bad as day. But if you're in a climate that maybe doesn't get a lot of sunshine, or if you maybe are at home all day with all the curtains closed and there's no light getting in, sometimes people wear caps when no light gets in. But, you know, the mites go about their business like usual.
Yeah.
It's more common for most people that they won't be as active during the day, but it's like has lots of different reasons. But yeah, that sort of sounds pretty typical of what I would expect from an overpopulation of Demodex. I hope that made sense. I know I'm rambling a little bit. It's 5:30 here on a Thursday afternoon.
And it's very hot today.
Yeah, it's like
32 or something.
Yeah, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit for our American friends, but it's hot, guys.
Yeah.
Australian summer's heating. So I hope this was super informative. I know visually it wasn't, I don't know, too exciting. But look, we do these live videos pretty regular. I think this week we're trying to do one a day, just in the lead up to sort of the holidays. Oh, cool, wait, one more comment, I think.
Yeah.
Hang on a second, let me try and focus this first. Like I said, I'm doing this one-handed.
Maybe we could end this one?
Yeah, maybe Instagram. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys on
sorry.
Instagram. Go on Facebook or YouTube. So we're getting comments on Facebook if you're watching on YouTube and are a little bit confused of what's going on. Oh my God, thank you so much, Tina. Okay. You know why this isn't working? I've not got it in the right spot. So I'm just focusing again. So can you maybe read the question out for me?
Yeah, it has hundreds of marks everywhere at first, and then most of the marks disappear, and now tons of muscles twitching everywhere. Usually you will find that like 9 or 10 things will get worse, but lately it almost seems like to be replaced with the twitching all day and night. For 6 months though,
Oh, you poor thing.
would get bad at 9 and 10 p.m. So it's like worse at night. Now just twitching all the time. So it's definitely a symptom of Demodex mites. I would suggest to try our solutions.
Yeah, look, even if you wanted to organise, we do phone consultations, just like one-on-one. So I can get like a little bit more information, like what's going on with your background, like health, diet, lifestyle, etc. Which, like, because it's just a little bit of a one-sided conversation right now, I sort of want to give you a little bit like more of an explanation and also understand what's going on. So I think that's the first mite we started on. So there's 3 in this slide total.
Yeah.
But for someone with healthy skin, that's like a fair amount.
Yeah.
Although they are in the personal care industry, so they're making a lot of physical contact with people, which is a, you know, massive cross transfer ground. But back to you, Denari. I hope I haven't got the screen in front of me. If you want to private message us, I'm happy to organize like a phone consultation or something, just so we can sort of chat one-on-one and maybe figure some more things out. If you haven't already, I would really encourage you to do that online quiz before we talk, because it saves me like asking you so many questions. But like, by the sounds of it, I really think you do have a high higher population density of mites than what you should have.
Yeah.
And I think probably we can really help, but I just want to be sure before sort of, like, I promise anything, and I can't do that till we sort of have that one-on-one. So anybody watching this who has questions about mites or has questions about their skin and is maybe looking to treat them the right way, we do free phone consultations. We're like pretty nice people. We don't try and force you into anything. We want you to understand, because the treatment is a minimum of 3 to 4 months, and you really have to put in the work. Like, it's not too hard, but it's you that'll be doing the work, and we want you to sort of be sure before you get into it. So that's sort of our role, and then we sort of help you through it as well. So if you fill out the online quiz, which we will paste in the description or comments after this, do that. There's an option for a consultation afterwards. If you take that up, we'll contact you. Do we have more comments?
Yeah, it's like, because it's a microscopic parasite, so basically the eggs can't be seen by the naked eye. So no, you can't see the mites fully grown. You can't see the eggs with your naked eye, but some people do get visual symptoms. Again, I'm relying on how people describe it, but sometimes it's little grains, sometimes it's like little salt and pepper flecks. That might not necessarily be the mites themselves, but it can be a symptom of their activity. So when they're entering and exiting the hair follicle, again, this could be totally off because we haven't spoken directly, but here's another mite. I think it's a teenager, or it's dead, because there's the body, but there's no front part. I think it's dead. If you are having like visual symptoms, like sometimes things are falling off you, or you find little bits of grit or grain, it can just be a sign that they're like dislodging like product of skin built up in the follicle entrance. Like, I call it a skin plug. It's not glamorous, but you know, when you have hundreds entering and exiting a follicle at one time, it can dislodge things. I think it's an egg there. With this guy here. You found
an egg or a baby brevis? I have to be.
Oh, I think.
Probably an egg.
Oh, that's an egg.
Yeah, so the eggs is it an egg?
Or is it like hatching or what?
Yeah, usually they're quite, it's the right shape, but usually they're quite smooth. Maybe. Anyway. Everything looks scary under a microscope. It's just usually when they're wiggling, or, you know, we can tell the shape. I've been doing this for a long time, and that's what a dead mite looks like. So even though it's probably still moving, you can see it's sort of like deflated. So hang on a second. How are your arms feeling?
Yeah, it's okay.
We'll end it soon. Our office is about to close, but you can see, I think there's still a little bit of movement there.
Yeah.
But the body's not
functioning.
Like, exactly. It's not like sort of cylindrical and smooth like the others we saw.
Yeah.
So this is what they look like, and then eventually they break down and liquefy, like I said.
And spread bacteria and cause more problems.
Exactly. So it's sort of like if you imagine like a fish on the sand at the beach, you know, the waves wash the fish onto the shore and the fish is left to sort of die. That's like what we're looking at mite-wise. It's you know, been on the surface of the scalp and it's sort of dying. So were there any other Facebook comments I mentioned? No. Okay, beautiful. So we're probably going to end the video here, guys, because it's our home time. But if you're on Facebook, private message us. If you're not already, which I think I recognize some names, but we have a Demodex mite support group on Facebook. which, most people haven't heard of mites or don't know where to go, so we try and push people there. But like I said, I really encourage you to do that test and then take us up on a consultation. It is just informative. It's generally about 10 minutes, and there's no pressure. It's just a chat. But usually once we determine Demodex are sort of playing a pretty key role, we can really make a difference. If you're on YouTube, just unjex.com. I will try and post in the comments. We also, we sell worldwide. We actually have free shipping. It's the last day of our Halloween sale. We kept it open a little bit longer for our North American friends. So it's actually a free bottle of product and free shipping over Australian $150. If you're not in Australia, please currency convert the prices, because it sometimes freaks people out. Because, especially in America, people maybe forget that there's other currencies around. So just look at Australian dollars. If you follow, subscribe us. Like I said, we're doing these nearly every day this week. So tomorrow for us is Friday, so it will be our last one.
Yeah.
And we always love to see a comment, because otherwise we're just, talking to ourselves. You got anything else?
Yeah, that's basically, that's pretty much all.
All right, beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to everyone who commented. Thank you for watching. We really hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye. How do I end this?